Well, very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's US Outlook. Winter is not giving up without a fight, despite the fact that it was one of the warmest on record for east of the Mississippi. We do have a monster area of low pressure centered just over the southern portion of Hudson Bay. And that system is pretty much taking up half of North America's atmosphere. Very, very impressive indeed. Now, we do have a dislodge of exceptionally cold air, probably one of the coldest air masses of the entire season, despite the fact that we're nearly in the middle of March, is now becoming a main player in the US pattern. Now, because of that, we have been talking about temperatures of all-time record breaking levels on the Canadian archipelago. We're seeing temperatures of -54 Celsius, -66 Fahrenheit in the far north of the Canadian islands, the Queen Elizabeth Islands, I believe. And that very air mass is dropping south on the rear of this low pressure system. So while we're seeing temperatures to the east of that over northern central portions of Quebec above freezing, we've been talking about records breaking here over the far north of Canada and well into the -40s. Not necessarily all-time records, but certainly records for the time of the year. We've also, of course, tied a record just several days ago in Fairbanks, Alaska. The first time we have set or tied a record here since 2013. Because it's so exceptionally cold here, it really does take a lot to match records in this part of the world, but we have done so. We've done that, and this Irma certainly means business as it comes south here. But we're also going to talk about some snowfall across the upper portion of the country as well. So let's get right to it. If we skip through the sequence here, you can see here this area of low pressure east of Hudson Bay, follow the isobars, and we're talking about the air coming all the way from the pole straight down in the central portion of Canada and then into the northern tier of the country here. But we've got an area of low pressure here to the west of the west northwest of OKC. That is going to push eastwards here as this main push of cold air comes down. And what we're going to see is we're going to see snow breaking out across parts of the upper Midwest and potentially a significant snowmaker through central and northern parts of Ohio, through Pennsylvania, and into the New York City up towards Providence and Boston. Could see some significant snow out of this here, several inches. But look at this here. We've got a 1050 Arctic high pressure system that is coming down with that northerly airflow with low pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. You're talking about the significant Arctic air coming down here. And this is going to be one of the coolest air masses of the entire winter into the northeast. We've seen it last weekend. We're going to see it again through this weekend as well. But thickness values are going to be very low for the time of the year, down to 504 as far south as New York City. So we're going to be talking about low teens, maybe even approaching 10 or 11 Celsius, 10 or 11 Fahrenheit, sorry, in Central Park. Boston, we could be talking about temperatures even lower than last weekend's 9, which tied a record. And this is really, really impressive cold for this late in the season. That eventually pushes through, but then we've got another snowmaker that could be approaching the Carolinas, the mid Atlantic region of the country here. So we've got another snow system coming through, then another one. So this is a very active, very cold pattern for the next week to 10 days across the eastern half of the country, as you can see here. We could see 3 systems in the next week across the mid-Atlantic and the northeast, as well as definitely record-breaking cold. No doubt about that. So interesting times. Let's have a very quick look at the snowfall actually just before I go for the next week. So just bear with me 1 second here. I will have more in the written post later on, but this here is going to be through the next week. Snowfall wise, I'm going to try and bring up the region here to make it a little bit more clear for you to see. But we're certainly going to be talking about plenty of winter weather here in the coming days for the northeastern half of the country, where it has been, of course, such an exceptionally mild winter, hasn't it? So look at this here. We're talking about nearly a foot of snow to the west northwest of New York, close to Boston. A nice swath through central Pennsylvania. We've also got a secondary swath here. Comes up through eastern Carolina, Virginia, the Delmarva, coastal New Jersey. Long Island looks as if it's going to get hammered as well. So this is the three systems that come simultaneously through the northeast and the mid Atlantic, but of course factoring in the fact that we've got probably at least the second or third strongest Arctic air mass of the winter thus far, coming in the middle part of March. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a good Thursday, and I'll be back in the next couple of days. Bye for now.